Our reading from the Hebrew Scriptures this morning is taken from the book of Micah, the prophet Micah, chapter 5, and beginning at verse 2. Listen to what the Spirit might speak into your heart this day from Micah chapter 5, verses 2 through 5. But you, O Bethlehem of Ephrathah, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from of old, from ancient days. Therefore he shall give them up until the time when she who is in labor has brought forth. Then the rest of his kindred shall return to the people of Israel. And he shall stand and feed his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall live secure, for now he shall be great to the ends of the earth, and he shall be the one of peace. May God bless to our understanding this reading from God's holy word, and to God's name be glory and praise. Amen. Well, it is finally the fourth Sunday in Advent, Love Sunday. Against the gathering gloom of a darkening world, we have lit candles of hope, peace, joy, and today love. The last one we light on Christmas Eve will be the Christ candle. But I must say, it's easy to come up with things to say about hope and joy, peace. It's pretty easy. But love is such a broad topic. What do you say about love? How do you tackle it? My godson in Cameroon used to go around the house singing little snatches of songs that he knew in English. And he would always sing one that I didn't recognize, and he would say, "Love is a feeling." And he sang it with such passion and such feeling. But I always had to argue. Love is not just a feeling. Love is more than a feeling. Love maybe has feelings with it, but if love were just a feeling, would it make us do the crazy things it makes us do? As Mary Oliver says, all love is crazy. It's the only kind. If love were just a feeling, would it make us say and think the things that we say and think? It creates feelings, sure, but it's got to be something more than just feelings, right? It's an interest in the well-being of the person or the thing that we love. It's the pleasure that we take in that person or thing. It's a passion. It's a force. It's a drive. Sure, it might be a feeling, but it's more. Love is free, but it will cost you everything. And if you've ever loved deeply, you already know that. Love is sacrifice. Love is responsibility. Love is self-denial. Love causes pain sometimes, but we never regret it. Who are your life's great loves? Okay, that was the easy one. Let's get to some harder questions. Almost everybody loves somebody, whether living or dead. Here's a harder one. What are your life's great loves? Okay, a harder one still. What does your love cost you? What does your love cost you in this life? I'll tell you a story about love and the cost of it. In the simple religion of my childhood, which I left behind, these 35 years ago, there was pretty much one objective, and that was this: you get into heaven by not sinning. That was it. That was the whole religion. You get into heaven by not sinning. My parents were very old school evangelicals, and my father was a pastor, and for them, life was about avoiding sin and getting eternal bliss in the afterlife. But happily, their list of sins was pretty short. I mean, of course, there were all the obvious sins that any decent person would avoid, like murdering and lying. And it was a sin to swear, and it was a sin to take the Lord's name in vain. And what was swearing could be a little fuzzy. Physical intimacy outside of marriage was considered a sin, but it was also a sin to laugh at dirty jokes, which was tough because back in the 70s and 80s, the only thing families did together was watch TV. And you couldn't laugh at any of the dirty stuff with my parents there. Let's be honest, for them it was a sin to vote for anybody but the Republican. It was a sin to smoke and it was a sin to drink, but that was pretty much it. The bigger things, the other things like gossip and greed and racism and wastefulness and systemic injustice, those did not make the list. Big collective sins like pollution and prejudice, those were not on their radar. Don't swear, don't smoke, don't drink, and pretend that sex doesn't exist. You're good. It's pretty easy. Also, give a tenth of your income to the church and go to church 2 times a week. But then you're good. You're good. You're golden. You go to heaven. But as my siblings, there are 5 of us, as my siblings and I got older, it became harder for us to be ourselves around our parents because we knew that we weren't living according to their standards. Each of us had developed, as we grew, our own private relationships with such things as swearing and drinking and smoking and politics and church and all the other stuff on that short list. What it meant was that as our family came together for holidays, we felt the need to hide little pieces of ourselves because we thought we would be judged. It was only just a few years ago that I finally stopped wearing long sleeves to family gatherings in the summertime, because decades ago I got an ill-advised tattoo that I had to keep hidden from my mother. I admit it's a regrettable tattoo. I got it decades ago, but now that I have finally started showing it, every time my mother sees it, since her memory is slipping a bit, she says with surprise, "Oh, you got a tattoo." In a more courageous move a few Christmases ago, my sister finally broke out a bottle of wine and said, "We are going to drink wine with the meal this Christmas." By that time, all of us had grown up. We were in our 40s and 50s when we finally came out of hiding. We were in our 40s and 50s with kids of our own. My sister and her adult children had been sneaking drinks at every family holiday for years. And I had already retired from drinking altogether, but my sister thought, you know what? I'm 55, this is my house. I'm not going to hide anymore. No one's going to get drunk on a single bottle of wine. Let's just serve wine. And to our great surprise, my father took a glass of wine and he sipped it throughout the course of the whole meal. Strangely, even though I did not drink, there was something healing in that act of drinking with his adult children, as if to say, let's come out of hiding now. Let's be ourselves with each other. We don't need to live behind these masks. Let's be ourselves. We owe the truth to the people we love. We owe them the truth. What is the price of love? It has several price tags attached. It will cost you many things throughout the course of your lifetime. What has it cost you down through the years? Of course, love means showing up. Many of us ended up going to softball games on weekends for our kids that we would have rather missed. And if your kid, like mine, sits in the outfield chewing the grass, Snyders have never been into team sports. Love will cost you a listening ear, and you'll listen not just with your ears, but with your eyes, and with that other sense that you have when you love a person. You'll listen to their silences and their actions. Love means that you'll have to share, and sharing can be costly, but you'll do it willingly. When you love someone, you'll share your time, you'll share your energies, you'll share your investment, you'll share your own self and your own stories. You'll share your food in your home, but you'll do it willingly. You'll share your life with them as they share their lives with you. That's one of the price tags of love, and we never regret it. The hard one, love means letting go and letting them go their own way when it's time. That's hard. But what else does love cost? Perhaps the dearest price tag attached to love is that we've got to be truthful with the people we love. Love costs us the truth. That's one of its demands. we owe the truth to those we love. So if you've been following our Advent traditions for very long, you'll know that Hope Sunday, the very first Sunday in Advent, you usually get some apocalyptic reading about the second coming. And then the second Sunday in Advent, Peace Sunday, you get John the Baptist crying out in the wilderness to prepare the way of the Lord. Then the third Sunday in Advent, you usually get John the Baptist Redux on Joy Sunday, which is funny because he doesn't strike me as a joyful guy, but I bet he is. And it's good because he doesn't get much attention throughout the rest of the year. You get more John the Baptist. And finally, on the fourth Sunday, Love Sunday, you get Mother Mary, and occasionally Joseph. And today's reading finds Mary going to visit her cousin, John the Baptist's mother, Elizabeth, and both women are pregnant. And a nice thing in this story in Luke is that between these two women, though they are family, there's no hiding. And there's no need even for truth-telling. They already seem to know each other's truths, miraculously. Elizabeth knows somehow that Mary is the mother of her Lord. And Mary knows because of a gossipy angel that Elizabeth is in the midst of a geriatric pregnancy. They just accept each other's hard-to-believe truths. Why can't we do that with each other? Why can't we do that with our families and with the people we love the most? Would that our dearest relationships could be as open and accepting as the one between Mary and Elizabeth. But we often feel the need to hide ourselves from the very people who are most dear to us. It's so much easier to be yourself with a perfect stranger than it is with somebody who's known you your whole life. It's because we fear their judgment. It's because their opinion of us matters so much and we're so scared of being judged by them. But in fearing their judgment, aren't we judging them? Aren't we assuming that they're going to judge us? Maybe we're underestimating them. Maybe we're underestimating their love for us. In hiding and in avoiding their judgment, we are denying them real relationship. And we're judging them in a way, for we're refusing them the opportunity to be in true relationship with us, knowing us for who we really are, and allowing us to know them for who they really are. Love means revealing our truths. As this Christmas draws near, I imagine that many of us are facing a conundrum because we are going to be gathering with families who do not see the world as we do. We're going to be gathering in divided families, families that will send us into hiding if we share different opinions about things going on in the world, about things going on in our lives. Maybe it was us that moved. Maybe it was them that moved. Probably it was a little bit of both. It doesn't matter. It's so hard somehow to let the people we've loved all our lives grow and change. But apparently, if my father can do it, they can do it clear into old age. People can still grow. They can still change. Maybe we fear their judgment. Sadly, maybe they fear ours. Maybe it all started years ago when we decided that people are more important than these big ideas that you hold. Human beings matter more than these grand truths that get your allegiance. It could be, as in my case, that you began to doubt their worldview even as a kid. At a young age, I came to see that the Bible was good for inspiration and guidance, but it was not science, and it was not historical fact. And then that realization led me, and probably many of us, to other realizations, like an acceptance of people unlike ourselves. It led me to a belief that the real and only sin is whatever denies fullness of life to somebody created in God's image. It led me to a real belief that this world has enough for everyone and enough room for a variety of beliefs and lifestyles. As long as they're not hurting anyone, leave people alone. They don't even need to believe what I believe, as long as we live in mutual respect and love. The real sin is trying to control people, trying to degrade people created in God's image. Celebrate life. I think that's what we see in Mary's song, which we both read and sang just a few moments ago, the Magnificat. Isn't it about seeing that greed has no place among us, that everyone has enough, that pride is an illusion, that God draws near to the poor and the desperate? And so, as always on this Love Sunday, what is the message for us today? Though love is free, it is costly. It comes with price tags attached. It will cost us. Love means that we will not give up on people easily. Love means that we will swallow our pride and admit it when we're wrong. Love means that we will show up no matter how much we don't want to sometimes. And we will share ourselves and our stories and our substance. Love means we will make sacrifices. It means that we will surrender our privilege and our entitlement. And it might even mean that we will plug our noses and eat green bean casserole and pretend to like it. Love means that we will do our best to make our loved ones feel seen and heard and valued, even if we don't get them. It means that we will listen when they speak, and we will listen to their silences. Most of all, love means that we will let the people in our lives come out of hiding and show us their truths and be known by us and us by them. Love means telling the truth and hearing it as well. Love means not allowing anyone to hide away their true selves in fear of our judgment and disapproval. For what does the beautiful epistle of 1 John tell us? It says very simply, perfect love casts out fear. Perfect love casts out fear. What is love asking of you this Christmas? What is the cost of love going to be for you this Christmas? I'm not sure that anybody has ever loved perfectly. There's often a bit of self-interest in some of our love. We can't help it. But here's a good starting place. Love deserves the truth. Love deserves our truth. Let's not hide from the ones we love, for there can be no genuine relationship when we hide. I'm not saying we have to get into all the political discussions this Christmas at the dinner table. I'm only saying, let's entrust each other with the truth about ourselves. We might be amazed at how well they take it. And let's not be the kind of people who make others feel like they need to hide from us in order to avoid our judgment. Christmas is a time when we believe, in one way or another, God enters into the human experience in order to know and to endure and to enjoy all that we are and all that we know and all that we suffer and all that we love. God in the person of Christ knows our deepest truths, and truth is the price of love. Amen.